What are the worst new cars and SUVs that owners completely regret buying? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. For this video, I'm going to go through 10 of the worst new cars and SUVs that have the lowest owner satisfaction, which the owners wish they had never bought in the first place. And make sure to stick around until the end of the video because I'm also going to share 5 vehicles with the highest owner satisfaction. So if you enjoy and get value out of this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications. I post 2 videos a week, always straight to the point, valuable car buying advice designed to help you, the consumer. So we'll start things off with the 10 worst vehicles, with the first one being the Kia Forte. According to the Consumer Reports Owner Satisfaction Survey, only 51% of Forte buyers would buy another one again. Even though the Forte does offer very good value in terms of offering you a lot of features and technology for the money, it's no surprise really that it's not exactly the most comfortable car to drive. It has a relatively underpowered engine, it's a little bit noisy to drive, and it doesn't exactly have the smoothest ride quality either. But then given its affordable price point, it's a little bit hard to be too critical of the Forte for these reasons. What I can be critical of though is the potential reliability concerns. The Forte does have a history of having some reported issues with the CVT and the optional dual clutch transmissions. And the 1.6 turbo and 2-liter 4-cylinder engines are also sometimes known to be problematic, especially the 2-liter engine, which has a history of being involved in a very serious Kia recall, which has affected millions of vehicles where these engines can potentially catch on fire or fail completely. So given all these potential issues, the Forte is certainly not a car that I would highly recommend, and it seems that a lot of owners would certainly agree with me. And the same could also be said of the next car on the list. In the number 9 spot we have the Nissan ALTIMA. According to the survey, only 51% of Altima owners would buy another one again. And again, this one is no surprise given the fact that the Altima is a relatively mediocre vehicle. It really doesn't excel in any particular area when it comes to comfort, performance, or technology, and it doesn't exactly have the most stellar reputation when it comes to reliability either. Altimas have a history of having all kinds of issues, the most significant of which has to do with the CVT, continuously variable transmission. This has also been a very well-known issue in many other Nissan models too, but the Altima has been especially problematic, with a very high failure rate for the CVTs. And unfortunately, the Altima is not the only Nissan to make this top 10 list. In the number 8 spot, we also have the Nissan Kicks. According to the survey, only 49% of Kicks owners would buy another one again. Now, unlike the other vehicles on this list, the Kicks is the only one that I actually would recommend to some buyers. It's certainly not the most comfortable vehicle, and it's not exactly that impressive when it comes to performance, refinement, or quietness either, but those aren't exactly the main reasons why you buy a Kicks. The fact is that the Kicks is the most affordable way to get into a brand new crossover, and it does offer very good value for the money. It also has a decent reputation for build quality without the major reliability concerns like you find in some other Nissan models. So even though a high percentage of owners haven't been that satisfied with it, I think if you have realistic expectations of what you're getting into and don't expect it to be as great as a much more expensive SUV, then the Kicks is a perfectly solid choice. Unfortunately though, the same can't be said of the number 7 vehicle on the list, which is the Volkswagen Taos. According to the Consumer Reports survey, only 48% of Taos owners would buy another one again. And that is quite alarming considering that the Taos is a relatively new vehicle that hasn't been on the market for very long. My major issue with the Taos is that it just seems extremely expensive for what you're getting, especially when you compare it to other similar subcompact crossover SUVs. And given Volkswagen's shaky reputation for hit-or-miss reliability and very high repair costs, I wouldn't be surprised to see that owner satisfaction go down even further in the future. No question, for the same price as the Taos, there are many better options that you could consider instead, and it seems that a lot of buyers would agree. And moving on to the next vehicle on the list, in the number 6 spot we have the Kia Seltos. According to the survey, only 48% of Seltos owners would buy another one again. The Seltos basically suffers from the same issues that you have with the Forte and other low-priced Kia models. They offer very good value as far as giving you a lot of features for the money, and they also come with a very long warranty, but that's really about it. In almost every other way, the Seltos is just unimpressive when it comes to its comfort, its performance, and also not exactly having the best reputation for reliability either. The 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, for example, is part of the same major Kia recall where the engines can potentially catch on fire or completely fail, in this case as a result of poorly manufactured piston rings. Potential engine failure is no minor thing, and the fact that Kia doesn't exactly have the best reputation when it comes to customer service is not exactly helping things either. So unfortunately, this is another one that I'm not surprised has very low owner satisfaction, and the same could also be said at number 5 on the list, which is the Jeep Compass. According to the Consumer Reports survey, only 46% of Compass owners would buy another Compass again. Much like the Taos, the Compass is a very overpriced vehicle for what you're getting. Of course, you have that legendary Jeep image, some off-road capability, and a long list of available technology, but that's really about it. In every other way, the Compass is a subpar vehicle with disappointing performance, comfort, and reliability. And given the high pricing, this is one SUV that I would strongly recommend avoiding, and it seems that a lot of owners would agree with me. Now, it's not just mainstream brands that can have low owner satisfaction. We also see the same issue with a lot of luxury brands too, including number 4 on the list, which is the Mercedes GLA. Another one that really doesn't surprise me given that I drove a GLA a couple of years ago and I was really disappointed with it. According to the survey, only 45% of GLA buyers would buy another one again. When you're buying a vehicle at this price point, you have certain expectations when it comes to its performance, comfort, luxury and features, and also reliability. And unfortunately, these are all areas where the GLA can be a disappointment. Although Mercedes seems to do a decent job when it comes to their higher priced vehicles, they don't seem to put in anywhere near the same effort when it comes to the lower end and more affordable end of their lineup. But as bad as it is, it's nowhere near as bad as number 3 on the list, which is the INFINITI QX50. According to the survey, only 40% of QX50 buyers would consider buying another one again. And unfortunately, this is another SUV that I'm not surprised to see on this list. INFINITI has sadly been on a downward path for a number of years now, and the QX50 is a great example of why this is. When compared to almost every single other compact luxury SUV, it's just uncompetitive in almost every single way. The technology is very outdated, it's not especially comfortable or smooth to drive, and it has very disappointing performance too, especially thanks to that CVT transmission. It seems to have an okay reputation for reliability so far, but unfortunately it's just not enough to save it, and the majority of owners would still never consider buying another one again. But as bad as the QX50 is, there is one other small luxury SUV that's considered even worse by its owners, and that SUV is number 2 on the list, which is the Mercedes GLB. According to the survey, only 39% of GLE buyers would consider buying another one again. The GLB seems to suffer from all the same issues as the GLA, which is mechanically and technologically identical to the GLB, but unfortunately, because the GLB is more expensive to buy, that explains why the disappointment is even greater. But there is one other SUV that's rated even lower by its owners, and that SUV is number 1 on the list, which is the Volkswagen Atlas Crossport. According to the survey, only 38% of Crossport buyers would consider buying another one again, which gives it the lowest owner satisfaction of any new vehicle on the market. Now, what I found very interesting about this list is that the majority of the SUVs on this list have appeared in a lot of my past videos for the top 10 worst SUVs and most unreliable SUVs. So it appears that a lot of owners seem to agree with what I have to say. And that also seems to be the case with the most satisfying vehicles to own, which is the next list we're going to get into, starting with the first vehicle, which is the Chevy Corvette. According to Consumer Reports, the majority of Corvette buyers are extremely happy with their purchase and would buy another one without thinking twice. And that's also the case with the next vehicle, which is the Porsche 911. This is another vehicle with extremely high owner satisfaction, which is not surprising to see. I test drove a 911 GTS and GT3 last summer, and they were so great I quickly chose them as some of the best sports cars that you could buy. And another vehicle that made the Consumer Reports top owner satisfaction list is the Rivian R1T. Now this is a rather interesting one given that the Rivian is an all-electric truck, but it's not the only electrified truck that made the top owner satisfaction list. Another one that made the list is the Ford Maverick Hybrid. Apparently, Maverick hybrid buyers are extremely happy with their purchase, which is not surprising to hear given that the fact that the Maverick hybrid offers very good performance and capability, has amazing fuel economy, and it just offers excellent value for the money. But the vehicle that got the top owner satisfaction of the entire survey was the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Again, this one is not a huge surprise given the fact that the Ioniq 5 has been winning awards all over the place and is just a very well designed vehicle. And again, it's great to see all these vehicles make the top owner satisfaction list, especially given that 3 out of the 5 vehicles, the Maverick Hybrid, the 911, and the Ioniq 5, all made my video for the best cars of the year that I released a few months ago. I guess it shows that sometimes I might know what I'm talking about, so let me know what you thought of this video and the top and worst vehicles on the list, and if you have any suggestions for any future car videos, just leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and you can also take a look at my other car videos by clicking these links over here. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, and if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to check out carhelpcan.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.